Well, hello, and welcome to Eats Unknown. This is a very special episode. This is the lore behind the legend.
Hey, we're not doing the D&D intro thing. We cut it.
But, wait, what?
We cut the whole thing. You didn't have to wear any of this. We cut the whole D&D thing.
I feel real stupid now.
No, you look good.
I wore this to the mall because I didn't have time to change.
To the mall?
Yeah, I didn't have time to change when I got here. Yeah.
Oh, did you go on Hot Topic?
Yeah, that's the only errand I had to run. Can I still wear the hat?
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
All right.
All right, cool.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Suck it, idiots.
Hey, don't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I love you.
Let's do it again. That was awesome.
All right, guys, welcome to whatever this is.
Behind the bloopers.
Behind the music.
Dun, dun. Wait, that's Law and Order SVU. Well, it doesn't have to be SVU, but...
Behind the Law and Order.
SVU.
SVU. This week, instead of an episode, we're going to talk about us a little bit. Because we get a lot of comments where it's like, man, you guys work really well together. Or you guys, we're always saying we've known each other forever.
Too long.
Too long. And, we didn't have an idea for this week. I mean, just like completely frank. And it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, we're really busy.
Yeah, super busy. So we're like, you know what? Let's just sit down and talk to the audience and like hang out. So this one's for the fans. If it's your first time here and you're like, who are these idiots? Mm-hmm. Go watch this episode right here. I'm going to put one up right there. That's a great episode. Go watch that one. That might give you a little bit idea who we are. And then you can come back and watch this. Or don't. It's your choice.
Consider this like a prequel, I guess. Yeah.
This could be a prequel.
Yeah.
Like Jaws prequel.
Yeah.
They need to make a Jaws prequel. He's just like real small.
It's just a little baby shark.
Yeah, and he's like getting his taste for blood.
And then like nothing happens.
Yeah, hey, cut a couple people. It's serious. They got an infection from the ocean water that got in the wound.
Yeah, they went to the hospital. They got better with amoxicillin. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm writing a script. Yeah, Sam and I, we have known each other since we were, 15?
Yeah, something like that.
And we're 38? 39?
Going on 39, yeah.
Yeah,
15 going on 16, and we're 38 going on 39.
Yeah, so we've known each other, I can't do math, but I think it's like 140 years.
It's close. It's about 23.
Oh, okay. I was close, so close. We grew up in a little town called Georgetown, which is about 30 minutes north of Austin. I moved there from Austin when I was 15, and I met Sam, and we immediately became friends because we're like the only two people in the school who listen to punk rock. Mm-hmm. And your mom wouldn't let you hang out with me.
She thought he was a bad influence.
Mm-hmm. And I was, and am.
Yeah.
I got him into this thing.
Yeah. I was all honor roll student, all A's.
Idiot.
Then I met this guy, and my dad was like, I remember he's like, you're only as good as the friends you keep, and you're not gonna hang out with those honor roll kids anymore. You're gonna start failing. I was like, no, that's stupid. I want to hang out with those nerds. And I started failing and hanging out with this guy.
Did he say that?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we started hanging out and we started trading CDs back and forth all the time, like just listening to punk rock. Some of our favorite bands back then were like Ramones, Clash, Casualties, NoFX.
Yeah, I remember our common bond was like the classics because we were both kind of not just getting started. Lawson had already been kind of in the scene for a little bit, but I was really fresh. So it was like the Clash, Ramones, Sex Pistols. Yeah. And then I remember I went to your house one time, and this was right when like LimeWire and Kazaa was like big.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, look, I just downloaded like the Casualties and Cockspar. And so I went from the classics to this like hardcore, like an Oi and all this stuff. Like, yeah, because the Casualties and Cockspar kind of just flipped the script, and it was like a deep dive, and it was into punk rock forever. That was it, yeah.
And then the only way to go from there was to start a band. Mm-hmm. So we started a band when we were about 15 called the Wasted Aces. And it was four of us from high school, just four kids we knew. Okay, so our first show ever was Battle of the Bands. And about a week before Battle of the Bands, Sam broke his arm, and he's playing bass in the band. And so he couldn't play. He broke his arm. So the only thing, I didn't want to quit Battle of the Bands, so I got my girlfriend at the time to play bass.
Yeah.
And that bass is hanging up right behind me right there. I
that
still
in frame?
have the bass.
It sure is.
Yeah. Check out this video. I'm 15 or 16 years old playing Battle of the Bands, and you can see Sam in the crowd. We'll point him out. Check this out.
Yeah.
All right, so after that, we kicked my girlfriend out at
No,
the
you
time.
kicked me out. My hand got
did we?
better, and I was like, I'm ready to come back. And I remember Lawson, we were on the phone. He's like, so,
Did I really?
you're like, so Emily's gonna stay in the band. I was like, what?
Listen, man, when you're 16 years old and you're getting laid for the first time, you gotta do what they say. But that didn't last long. I think it only lasted like a week or something
Until
like that.
she quit. It's not like y'all kicked her out.
No, this is what happened. Sam Lawson, the other Sam, we kicked him out and put you on guitar.
Yeah, because he would cry like every practice.
Yeah, he cried a lot. That
Yeah.
guy cried a lot. We're like, listen, we can't be crying, but there's no crying in punk rock. You know what I mean? You know, you got a cooler position. You got to play guitar instead of bass.
And then Emily left, and then Tom came in on bass. Yeah, Tom wasn't in there yet. Tom
Yeah.
came in on bass, yeah.
And when he
at that
did,
point.
we changed our name to an even cooler, more adult name, the Scroats. So music's always been a passion of ours, so much to where we do it to this day, and again, we'll talk about that later. The ending song on every episode is a song I wrote and played. It's called Eat Blood. I need to put out like a
didn't know
full,
that.
it's called, you didn't know it's called Eat Blood? It's called Eat Blood. By the time this comes out, I'll put a link in the description. You can listen to the full ending song that is in every Eats Unknown episode if you're interested to listen to it. I have a habit of having a few too many and getting in front of a keyboard and a guitar and then just writing the stupidest music, but I really enjoy it. I have a good time. We really got into, well, we've always had this like similar sense of humor. And I got my first camera when I was real young, and I used to film everything. And then I didn't have one for a while. And then when I was probably like 17, 18, I got another camera again.
I think it was 18 when we started really like filming, because we were out of school.
Yeah, we were out of school. Yeah. That's when we heavily started filming stuff. And I don't have a lot of that footage because back then you couldn't just put it on the internet. You couldn't just, there was nowhere to put it. I've tried to dig some up for this video. I've dug up some, but I haven't dug up everything. I think my biggest influence back then was like Tim and Eric Awesome Show.
Yeah, and it really comes out. You can really see it.
Yeah, I always thought they were hilarious. I loved what they were doing. They was so goofy and stupid. So like the first thing that we ever did was called Dirty Grommet TV.
Are you gonna wear that?
Is that a f***ing problem?
There's no drinking in here,
So,
sir.
wait, no, sir. It's f***ing ma'am to you.
Okay, ma'am, there's no drinking allowed in here, and
First things. What the f*** is this? Is this f***ing vomit? It's like f***ing throw over. Is that f***ing?
So after that, I started playing with a country band, and we got the biggest for any band I've ever been in. You started playing with another punk band.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. That was the same time, yeah.
Yeah, it was the same exact time. And we even played some shows together, I think, which was so
Yeah.
weird. We didn't film anything for a long time. And then when I got back into it, I was doing stand-up comedy. You were doing stand-up comedy a little bit.
We had the podcast.
Oh, we had the podcast.
That
We're
was-
not going to say the name of the podcast because if people find that, we are canceled. I'm just going to be completely open
I don't think
with
it's
you
online
guys.
anymore. I don't think you can find it.
I don't think so. I've got every episode.
I do too.
It's so good. It's so funny. And this is back when nobody was doing podcasts.
Yeah, this is the sad part is that we weren't big in the stand-up scene per se. We weren't like famous comedians, but our podcast was big in the stand-up scene. We had literally every stand-up comedian come on that show.
This is like right when I had never listened to an episode of Joe Rogan.
I had never doing a show yet.
I had always wanted to be on radio. I always wanted to be a radio DJ, and I applied for a radio DJ position. I said, you can donate all my money to charity. Instead of giving me a paycheck, write it to charity. I want to be a radio DJ. This is something I want to do. And they just were like, no, absolutely not. So I was like, I'm starting a podcast. Suck it. I've heard of this thing on the internet. So we'd have comedians on all the time, and I was doing stand-up comedy at the time. Sam was doing stand-up.
I quit real early on just because I was working too much. Like, it took a lot of dedication to get better at it, and I probably could have gotten better, but I didn't want to put in the time to get better. And I was like, this isn't for me.
Maybe I can dig up some clips for you guys in the future. I'm not going to put any of our podcast on here.
This was before Twitch. Like, we were doing it on Ustream.
Yeah, we were on Ustream. This was before Twitch. If we would have stuck with that, and I told Sam at the time, I was like, I'm telling you, this is it. This thing's going to take off. And you were like, you're an idiot, but I'll do it anyway.
And I moved. And
then you moved to Colorado.
Yeah, we did it for a year, and I moved.
After Sam moves, I am hanging out with a guy named Jimmy Preston a lot, and he's super funny dude. And we start filming skits. And when Sam would come into town, we would film skits. And I'm like back into filming again. I really enjoy doing it. And
production value went way up.
Yeah, well, I actually studied it. I actually you could get stuff on your computer. Everything's digital. Back when we were doing it, I had tape, and you had to move the tape over to the computer. It was, I could shoot in 720, which was like crazy back then. I'm like, this is high definition based up, shooting in, mini DV8 before. So we started filming skits. Here's one of my favorites right here.
Hey, you got a light, buddy?
Sure, kid. There you go.
And your wallet.
Jimmy, give him your wallet.
What for?
He's got a comb.
That's not a comb. No, that's a comb.
I love that one. That one is so good.
Well, I like how we recreated it shot for shot. Like
I watched it like 10 times.
Like if you put it up side by side, it's shot for shot.
I know. I watched it so many times and I wrote a shot list. This is how we're going to shoot this and everything.
My favorite skit we can't actually show on this episode.
No.
This was back, like I think we're grandfathered in because this was way back when YouTube was not shadow banning people. Nobody was like watching it with a fine tooth comb.
Right.
So Lawson is going to put a link in there. You can check out all our old videos. The tattoo shop is what I'm talking about. So check out the tattoo shop.
There'll be a link in the description to everything we're talking about. Well, those progressed into us getting a show, me and Jimmy Preston, a show on local access TV called A Few Nice Things, which again will be in the description. If you want to watch it, it's I think there's 4 or 5 episodes up there. It's like Space Ghost meets Impractical Jokers meets...
Howdy, people. My name is Tom D. Welderman here with Texas Horse Hunts. Horse hunting started back from the medieval ages. Horses were considered to be not only dangerous, but a bad omen. All right? Look at the book. Look at the Bible. The only bad guy in the entire Bible, besides Satan and Judas and that snake in the tree, who I think was also Satan, is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Now I'm saying, if we kill these horses, no apocalypse. They can ride in here on Vespa scooters.
Hey, I'm sorry. I need somebody to read a text message. I'm meeting my fiance.
I got you.
Thanks, buddy. It's from my fiance, Sarah.
Sarah, it says, for the last time, you're my brother. I don't feel that way about you.
That's it?
That's what it says on there. Yeah.
No address.
No address.
All
Where
right.
are you looking to go?
Well, I was gonna meet her for lunch.
Oh, okay. Do you know where she was going?
No, she was supposed to text me, but now she's sending me mixed signals, so.
We shot the whole episode, we edited the whole episode, I wrote all the music, performed all the music, recorded the music, like everything you see is shot in a weekend. So that was really fun to do. Fast forward to now because there's really not a lot in between
Yeah,
there.
no, because I really kind of did a deep dive into my career. I've been a chef for like 17 going at 18 years now, and just once you get to a point in that career where you're moving up, everything just kind of goes away. Like
Right.
I wasn't in bands, I wasn't filming, I wasn't doing stand-up or podcasts. It was like just work. I became like executive chef. You know, I opened not like me personally, but I was like cherry picked to go open somebody else's restaurant. They're like, hey, we're gonna open this restaurant. We want you to do the menu and all this stuff. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And like, I'm never gonna open a restaurant. That's a nightmare.
You know, life gets in the way of stuff. It's always going to, but you gotta, you know. I tried some other stuff. I had like a fishing YouTube channel for a little bit,
fun.
and
You were Twitch streaming video games.
I was Twitch streaming. I'd always done. I had a Vine that I was like partially Vine famous. Like I would go out and people would recognize me, Bloodmaster on Vine, you know. Like so. Then after my kid, I had a midlife crisis, I think, and started a band, a punk band, as an adult. Which is a huge mistake. Don't do that. And we're called Whiskey on a Sunday. And at the end of this video, as a little bonus, I'm going to put up a 6-minute clip of our show from this last Saturday night.
I don't know if I went through a midlife crisis. You could call it that, I suppose. I got a divorce. I quit my job. I started my own business. And then I started doing the band with this guy. I was like, hey, now that I have my own business and I have a divorce under my belt, I can start playing in a punk rock band too. And
That's all it takes.
And here I am.
There you go, kids.
Yeah.
Get divorced. Start playing punk rock.
Yeah, and then
Or have a kid, one of the two.
And Lawson invited me over one day. He's like, hey, I'm making my friends eat dumb stuff on camera. And Scott, I think, was in the first 2-3 episodes before I even got on. I was like, yeah, I'll film an episode. And then I filmed another one and then another one. And eventually Lawson was just like, hey, can you just do all the episodes? Like, I feel like we vibe the most. Like, we have the best, like, chemistry. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think I will.
Dude, so, like, everybody in the first, like, while of the YouTube channel is everybody from the band.
Yeah.
That's Lexi's plays fiddle in the band. You'll see it in the video at the end of this.
Scott's
She's
our
fiddle
merch
player.
guy.
Scott sells merch.
Mike was in it. He did the green
Mike
jelly
was in
drink.
it. Yeah. Mike was in it. He's our singer. James
did the float episode.
Yeah. So like everybody in the band pretty much has been on, except for our whistle player, sound guy, and now banjo.
accordion.
Actually, banjo player has been on. That was Patrick, one of the CIA looking
Security
dudes
guy,
from the vlog. So yeah, that pretty much brings us to date, you know. And when I started the show, I was like, I'm just gonna have all my friends do it. And originally I started with Scott, and I love Scott. And Scott will be on a lot of episodes. And I had fun. Like you look back to episodes like Patrick Sorois, who's a comedian friend of mine. His episode's really funny. There's like a lot of really funny episodes in the beginning, but yeah, it just clicked and it made sense to do it with Sam, you know. And we've started to find a formula in the show.
And it was just like, it was such an easy yes, just because of the history we have that we've, you know, talked about this whole episode now. Like what you're seeing on this episode is not even a quarter of what we filmed. And so as soon as Lawson is like, hey, do you want to come film something else? I'm like, absolutely, I do.
That's true. Look, we have been wanting to do an episode that's like, here's all our bloopers. Right? But we can't because they're all will get us canceled.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or shadow banned
100%. Yeah, because we have a dark sense of humor. Like, we think everything should be joked about and it should be funny. That's how we deal with our stuff.
We're not trying to be offensive for offensive sake. It's just we think if you shouldn't say it, it's probably going to be funny.
Right, yeah. There's a reason you shouldn't because it's funny. Yeah, like, yeah. Like, here, look, I didn't leave this out just for, you know, oh, it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. I left this out because there is a lot of stuff that just doesn't make the cut. Here's a tiny example from last week's episode.
I can already tell I'm going to need a bottle of Tums.
You are? The entire bottle?
Yeah.
I have some at my house. That's how I lure older women into my house.
Jesus Christ. See, that's not that bad, but that's like the line. That's one I could show. Sometimes I leave stuff in these episodes. Like you'll see me say like, can I say this? And you're like, I think so. And I leave it in. I'm like, should I leave this in? I leave it in because I do still want to push the envelope a little bit. Yeah. I like the fact that we have a family-friendly show. I like the fact that, you know, we can kind of relate with everybody and be cool with everybody. But there's a lot of stuff that gets said. Nothing offensive to me or to you, and I would think 90% of the people, but the internet is a weird place, man. You guys are out there doing whatever you do. I know what you're watching. I think that pretty much wraps it up. I do want to say a couple things. there are a lot of you who every week comment on the episode, and I feel like we're talking to a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
And
Rip Roaring Garage, you got to cut back the pumpkin pies, bud.
Got to cut it back. And patron members, thank you for doing that. And when you like it and when you comment, it helps us out, and we greatly appreciate it. And we've gotten so lucky to have some amazing experience, like the intro you saw, going to play that with Danny Thompson. And then meeting other YouTubers like Darkologist who made us our awesome intro cartoon, stuff like that. It's, it's a lot of fun, and it's just getting started. It's been about a year. It's been about a year now. So anyway, I don't know. We just wanted to do this, and this one's for the fans. If this was boring, sorry. If you had a good time, let us know. And if you want to know anything that we didn't touch on, ask any questions, just ask in the comments. We'll comment, And like I said, at the end of this, which is right now, there is about 6 minutes of footage from our last concert.
At Castaways in
Sherwood Forest Fair. It was a little late in this video.
Somebody may or may not have been drunk, and it was definitely me.
Definitely not me. But I think you guys will enjoy it. Watch this video if you want. Guys, thank you again. Love you. Next week there will be a brand new episode, a back to normal episode, and it's going to be a really fun one. I think you guys will like it. Okay?
I see a door, and we should probably go through it, huh?
It's a garage door.
Has that door always been there?
We've never gone through a door this big. What's gonna happen?
I don't know. Help!
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 We don't know how to use this door!
Help!
you guys, man. Woo!